Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing some good old-fashioned rogue HVAL. I know you guys have been wanting to see some rogue. Unfortunately, I haven't been playing much rogue. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of sucks at the moment, if I'm being honest. However, these are some gameplay that is actually really broken if played correctly. Now, obviously, he is playing with the best HVAL in-game, so obviously these games are going to go smooth. But obviously, when you're not playing with a healer that can CC to the, like, literally to the you can't CC more than what I can CC. So you'll see here how doing really good setups, even when you're playing with somebody who's still learning, they can be really good. This rogue went from a 1400 CR player to a 2100 CR player ASAP. So here we get a really good blind. The problem is he intervened the blind, but we still got his trinket. So the blind ended up being really useful because obviously we got the warrior's trinket. So here we kick the hex and then we literally just rep him out of air. Only the OGs get to do that. They get to literally just rep him off the kick so we couldn't ground anything. That's the reason we didn't Hodge there. Now we Hodge off all 3 reps and we still get trinket. So thankfully, he trinketed there because now and I get a 3rd rep in there. So we're just absolutely obliterating these people. They don't know what's going on. At this point, the game's pretty much over for them. As long as we survive, we win the game. So here I'm trying to keep my guy up. I'm pretty much gonna trinket pretty quickly because we win next go. All we need is one more go. Obviously, here Earthen's here, so here I trinket. At this point, after this lasso, obviously we're in Discord, so I say I'm gonna stun, then he's stunning. So Haj, he stuns immediately. We win the game off this. I'm gonna rep off the Haj. So here I cancel my cast to make sure I get the rep, and now we should win the game. So here I'm gonna re-rep just in case. So I'm re-repping, and he's dead. So again, that's really our CC. I Haj, he stuns, I rep off the stun, and we keep the go going. And you'll see it's a lot of CC, especially when you add in blind. So we're basically sapping. I'm going to Haj off the sap, then he's going to blind. So here I have off the sap, then he's going to blind off the Haj. As you can see, he blinds, really good blind. We get the trinket, and we've gotten icebound. So we've gotten 2 major CDs. So at this point, normally, you can run, but here we end up swapping to the Mistweaver just to get revival. So again, this is just in one go, and this is why you don't just want to run away when you have extra damage. You want to get your full blades out because obviously in this type of situation you're able to just get so many cooldowns. So we got his wall, revival, trinket. The next CDs we're trying to get is the DK's trinket and the Mistweaver's orb. So here I trinket the incap, I Haj, he stuns, he trinkets, I full rep him off of the Haj. At this point, you think he would die, but he actually does end up surviving somehow. Who knows how? But here he ends up getting the orb. He wasn't gonna die at that point anyway, so we ended up getting the CD for free. So now we need one more setup, and we win the game. So we're waiting for my Haj, and then we win. So again, wait for the DRs. Always wait for the DRs. So again, we're waiting, and then in about a couple seconds, he's gonna stun, and then I'm going to Haj. So you'll see we're still waiting for a second. This is where he's going to stun. Haj, he stuns. I rep. We win the game. So yeah, I get a full rep. The game's over at this point in time. I just wait for the re-rep and I'm doing damage with him. Fade damn. So that's pretty much our CC chain. You'll see it's a very broken CC chain. Um, Especially it's a lot better than Priest, I will say. Now you don't do as much damage as a Priest, and your CC might not be as fluently, but in overallness, this is the most CC in the game that's even possible. The only other class I can do anywhere near as much CC is a Wrestle Druid. But then a Wrestle Druid's not going to do anywhere near damage of an H-Val in terms of just pure dam, unless they're running like Convoke. So here, we Haj off the sap, because we know he's going to be kicking us, so we're not just going to try to rep. We're going to try now. Here he kicks us here. I try fake casting it, which I do, because obviously I'm the X. So here I rep the lock so we can swap to the Mistweaver to get his trinket for free, and we get orb as well. So we got locks both walls. We got the Mistweaver's trinket, and we get orb on the first go. So at this point, we're waiting to do our go here so we can stun the warlock, and then I'm gonna rep the Mistweaver. I dispel. You're always looking to dispel you just havocs and UAs if you are if you have them available. Obviously, you're not gonna dispel when you're 20%, but you do like to dispel. So here I Haj the Mistweaver. We're going to try to rep. Obviously, he does end up getting the kick on this one. I don't even know where his pet is. I didn't even know he had a pet till now, but um, who knows. So here he ends up getting the kick, which actually ends up saving them. However, he still dark packs, which is a really bad dark pack. Because locks are so used to having it every single stun, and it's such a low CD, which personally I think dark pack should be a 2-minute CD. they already have a 3-minute wall. I don't know why you give them a 45-second wall, but regardless. So here we go, the Mistweaver for a second, just to see if we can get CDs, and we did. So we blinded the lock to get his trinket. Now they have 0 CDs. So you would think the next go we would win the game. We'll think again. 2 more goes. It's going to take 2 goes, because you got to remember, it is a warlock. They should never lose to a rogue in any circumstance, especially a sub-rogue at that. With how many CDs you have as a warlock, it's a shame that you lose to a sub-rogue. With that being said, here I freed myself. I'm going for the Hajj here. As you can see, I'm going to get a full Hajj into a full rep if I can. So here I full Hajj. Off this, we're going to rep, and I make sure I line so he can't kick me. So here I'm going to re-rep his trinket. He actually kicks me in the very, very second. Here we rep him again. You think he would die, but it's a warlock. Of course he's not going to die. So here he ends up surviving at literal 5% HP. So at this point, we need one more go. They have no CDs after that. We have no blades, but we should still kill. And I still have land hands. I still have bop. I still have magic bop. Again, I've held my CDs very, very carefully. And that's how you win games, by holding it. So here I full Hajj. He's going to stun the lock. I'm going to rep the healer here. So full rep. He ends up not kicking it last second, and we end up winning the game. So very close game, but unfortunately for them, that kick decided the game right there. So not kicking that rep, and I'm pretty sure he disabled his pet, because obviously warlocks have the option to kill their pet to get more damage, and they get the kick, but they can't do it out of a stun. That was the biggest mistake he could have done, because he would have been able to kick my rep last second, which would have probably, he was probably still dead, but they might have had a chance. There may have been, somewhat of a chance. Anytime you're facing a stealthy as a rogue, I like to wait for the hunter to come out, then I try to sap the healer. If I cannot sap the healer, I immediately blind. Again, Warren voice, so I'm telling him this, but he's gotten on to the fact that he kind of knows. So here we dispel, he's going to blind the healer, then we're going to stun the hunter. We're going to smoke bomb, forcing him to come. I immediately Hodge his trinket into a full rep. So again, just a massive CC chain that you think we would get turtle, or you think we would get the hunter's trinket. Think again, we actually don't. That being said, we still got what we wanted. We still got the priest trinket, we got feign death, we got his heal, we got pet sack, we got everything other than turtle and trinket. So here, we're gonna get ready to do our go again. Now again, when I don't have Hodge, your rogue, his goal is to stun like he just did. So here I stun off the cheap shot, which allows us to pretty much get the hunter's trinket. He almost ends up dying because of that. So here I dispel the trap. We keep the reps going, not just to keep him in CC, but to stop him from topping off the hunter. Because obviously once he's out of the turtle, my guy can continue doing damage with ruptures and keep him low HP. So here we get a really good vanish. We still have evasion and cloak available, so here we evasion, really good evasion. So again, I have Hajj, so I'm probably going to trinket the trap if he does it. It looks like he doesn't have it. So here I full Hajj, he full stuns. Off this, I'm going to rep. He does pre-PS, which is the one thing that kind of sucks, and this is why this is a counter comp, because he can PS like 90 times a stun. The reason we didn't rep is because he PS'd at 100%. Now, if it was more like 40%, I would have repped. But obviously, there's no point of wasting a DR. If somebody uses a massive CD like that, very high HP, don't do your go. It's pointless, because you're just wasting the DR. So now we can do a Hajj stun setup, and now I can rep. So if I went to full rep, and now the game should be over. And that's why we hold off on repping, because now he's dead. So I was pretty much just perfectly played, and the reason, again, we didn't rep is because he PS'd at 100% HP. When situations like that, I've seen people bubble, I've seen people do multiple, big wall at 100%. There's no point of using all your CC into it, because he's not going to die. You're not going to get any major CDs if he uses something at 100%. So you either have to swap, or you have to wait your go. That's all you can do. You might be able to keep doing your go, but the healer's job is to watch out for those situations. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had what we needed to win the game, and they would have had CDs back. So here again, we're facing Hunter. Usually, I'll have my rogue run disarm versus this. If you're not facing like a rogue or MM Hunter or Frost DK, there's really no point in running cheat test, so I usually don't have him running it unless it's versus a sub rogue or Frost DK. Obviously, when you're playing rogue mage, it's different because I run cheat death 100% of the time. So here he gets a full stun. You think he would trap, so here we actually Searing Glare's entire burst rotation. He does end up getting dispelled right there. He blinds, we stun. I'm going to rep off that, so full rep off that. So here we get the Restless Arm Trinket. I immediately Hodge his Trinket. I'm going to go behind LOS, then rep again. So again, just really, really good positioning by me. as my rogue is just taking him out. So here, we end up fake casting his wind shear, which allowed us to do some more dam. Our go is pretty much over. So now we get an insane disarm, perfect disarm because it was right on his burst. Um, at this point now we need to be safe here. So I can either stack him, or I can just wing, then we're fine. So again, we're getting ready to do our go here soon because I have Hodge back. Anytime I have Hodge and the DRs are off. So here we end up full kinning instead. Now I'm gonna rep, so we get a full rep here. You should get the Hunter's Trinket. You think we would get the Hunter's Trinket, but we'll see. So here I rep again, and then I'm gonna Hodge. Most likely, we'll see. So here I DR Hodge into a DR rep. You think we would get... Okay, so we get Turtle. So had I not done that DR stun, we might have not got Turtle. Thankfully, we did get a major CD, which the whole point of Sub Rogue is if you do not get their CDs in a timely fashion, you usually aren't going to be able to outdamp people. Sub Rogues are not meant to outdamp anybody. It's just not going to happen. They're meant to kill fast. You can somewhat dampening people, but it's mainly just get CDs every go and then kill. So here we full rep into another rep, into a DR Hodge. So here I bubble to DR Hodge, into a DR rep maybe, or we just kill him. I'm doing unhealable to him. So I end up almost taking him out myself. So now, it looks really bad for us, I'm not gonna lie. They still have double trinket, so again, we're just waiting for our setup to be on. In 6 seconds, whatever the time is, I can't even see it, but he can stun, or we can wait for my Hodge. We'll see what happens. So again, usually if I don't have stun, your rogue's gonna stun for you. It looks like at this point we're just gonna wait for my Hodge, because obviously he's in the earthen, or it looks like my rogue might stun. We'll see. So here he blinds. Off the blind, I'm gonna rep. Full rep. He smoke bombs it, allowing me to get the rep again. So here I rep again 3 times. This time he gets the kick, so I'm gonna rep again. He lines it this time, so we ended up getting double trinket though because of that smoke bomb, and that's why smoke bombing in the opener, when they're not, or really anytime you have it when they're far apart, is the best case scenario. Because now they lose the game because of that. Double trinketing is the worst case scenario for them because that allowed us to win the game. So here we end up getting his grounding. Always bait grounding before you Hodge or do any major CD that can be grounded. So here we get a full rep. The game's over at this point. GG. Yeah, anytime you look at grounding and you see them have it, it's also good to track it on Omnibar, because obviously it can literally lose you games. But this is one of the harder comps. Anytime a sub rogue faces a ret in general, it's almost unwinnable. They have so many CDs, it's like, dude, how many more CDs does a class need? Ret paladins are one of the most counter comps to a sub rogue I've ever seen. There's no class better than ret when it comes to sub rogues, unless it's 1v1 obviously, but here, somehow my thing ended up spacing enough to where he was able to get the orb. It didn't really matter because he sanked my Hodge anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered one bit. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. So here we pretty much got orb, and we got the Ret's wall that he has every sun. So nothing, we didn't really get anything but his orb, and we got wall. So at least we get something, but it's not the best case scenario. So here we cheap shot, I full rep. I actually tried to full rep, but obviously that's not going to happen. So here we blind late, which allows us just enough time to fake cast him. Wait, let's see. Nope, for some reason my guy does not want to kick. The Mistweaver just randomly kicks. I get precog for a few seconds, but the rest just doing unhealable damage. And this is why this is a hard counter for us. Because while the Ret gets to beat up on both of us, this guy's sitting at 100% HP. So here we're getting ready to do our go. So I'm going to Hodge. He's going to stun the Ret. This is our chance to get trinkets. Yep. So we get double trinket. Again, that can lose you games. And he lay on hands says, never lay on hands when your healer's not in CC and you're 50%. That is how you throw games. And that, unfortunately, I had to bubble here because we had no trinket. We had no outs. We know he's using all of his dam. No, we have no choice. So at this point, we're kind of scared. I'm not going to lie. We're kind of scared. So here we're going to get ready to do a Hodge go here in about a couple of seconds. Anytime I have Hodge, we're trying to get our go done. So here we full Hodge in 2 seconds. I'm waiting. Oh, okay, so he pre-orbs. So we're going to wait for the orb, and then we're going to go. That way, so here I have the full Hodge, which kind of sucks. So here we go Mistweaver this time to get bubble. The reason we swapped, obviously, is because of the orb. He somehow survives. Look at that. He survived at 1%. That is a situation where if he would have eviscerated instead of restunning, I think we would have won. Unfortunately, he did do the right thing by restunning but at what cost? So here we've gotten every CD. We have one more go. I have to survive one more go. That's it. So one more Hodge go, and we have to win the game. So here I'm going to full Hodge, and then he has to go. So here I fake cast both of them like usual. Obviously, I am the Xvic. Nobody can kick versus the X. So here we full Hodge. This is where we win the game. We have to win the game. I'm going to full rep off this, and GG. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.